What's going on, people? This is Darius DC Chambers, host of What the Shit. Today we are doing something a little different. I have Miss Angela Marshall here for what I'm going to call the Chambers Effect. It's me and a guest one-on-one, bumping heads about different things, but mostly her life and success. So first of all, please tell the people who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the connection and just the opportunity to just, share my transparency and my truth with your viewers and your listeners. Yay! I'm so ecstatic. I am Angela Marshall. I am a content creative consultant. And what that means is I help people write slogans, I write speeches for politicians, I update, I also create resumes, bios. I am a ghostwriter, and I am also a published author. I'm a speaker. Didn't necessarily set out to be a speaker, but one of my published books, which is The Story and Life of an Ex-NFL Wife, it kind of took off in 2018, and that opened the door for me to be able to speak, not only in person, but be able to do like podcasts, TV, and radio shows. So thank you again for having me. I'm excited. Let's go.
That is one hell of a resume. Like every time like last time we talked, I learned some new stuff. But like you're a ghostwriter, you've done speeches for, like that is amazing. I don't know if people understand. One, I hate writing. Like I couldn't write to save my life. Like I've been trying to write some things that I need to. I'm supposed to write, and I don't want to write it. So for you to do that free and willingly is amazing. Oh,
Well, writing is therapeutic. And so since I journal and I write in diaries and agendas and I do, task reminders and all of that, I mean, like I'm constantly writing, whether it's affirmations for myself, for others. I've done that for, many, many years. So it just is, it's natural, and it just kind of helps to keep me sane and calm. So it's sort of like, working but not working. You know how they say you find something that you love and you won't work a day in your life. Well, let's keep it a secret. I'm not really working, but I'm loving what I do.
I'm glad they ain't tell me to write because writing wouldn't be it. That's just me. So we had you on the Queenish episode, which was so amazing. And we got to learn about you in a group setting. But this is different. This is you. This is not like your normal interview where I'm like, hey, so tell me about how you did this and that. No, I have a list of questions I want to kind of run through to get to know you before we get into more in depth of your story. So my first question is, what is your favorite holiday movie?
Oh my gosh, that would be Best Man Holiday. Now I
Why?
love like the Christmas Story and all of that. Those are great. But as far as like something that I would watch like over and over and over again, that
Hmm.
would be the Best Man Holiday.
And what do you think that says about you?
I think it says that I am trying to figure out relational, you know, issues and struggles, just trying to really overcome, because the story plot for the Best Man Holiday, as we all know, is a group of friends, and they each have their own relationship woes, and then also family dynamics and everything. So watching that, and then especially because Mia, the storyline is her husband was a football player for the New York Giants. Well, mine really was in real life. So not that that's why I watch it, but again,
Relatability.
yeah, I love the actresses, I love the actors in that particular film, and it's just, I mean, I resonate with it. So that's usually how I pick any movies to watch.
I feel like they kind of stole that storyline from your life, but I think you should tell them they need to run your money. But that's
You
just
think
me.
so?
I feel like me knowing you and the kind of meeting you and hearing the story. I feel like they stole it, but I ain't gonna say nothing because I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. My next question is, what's an insult you receive that you're proud of?
An insult that I received that I'm proud of.
Yes.
Well, I actually got rejected by a particular female podcast show that speaks to males only. But her topic, well, I don't want to say that because then I'll divulge it. Her basis was sports, okay? And so when I pitched her from the standpoint of, hey, I know firsthand from an NFL wife's perspective. So that's why I would like to, come on your show and maybe just give, some what do you call it? Like behind the scenes type.
Insight.
Yeah, I give some insight as far as like being a former NFL wife. And she was all on board up until the day of, like, she responded back, said, hey, this is great stuff. I sent all of my credentials. We even talked like 3 or 4 times because I think her show, it was like I was booked 3 months out or something. So we talked like several times before that. And then the day of the show, she sent an email and said, hey, thanks for reaching out, but I just don't think that my audience would resonate with your topics. Now, the topics that we had discussed that we were going to talk about was, the scores that do not count. We were going to talk about, just from a wife's perspective, how sometimes we put a lot of pressure on our man that is, like that's his job to also be pleasant to other women and whatnot. Like, we were going to throw some entertainment as well as enlightenment in there, but I don't know. And so when she sent that, then I responded back and I just said, hey, I receive it and I wish you well. Yeah.
Her loss, because that was goofy. I'm sorry. I don't know who it was, but you lost. You took an L on that one because you could have had Angela on your show giving you great insight, but no, you had to be audience resonates and all that, whatever. That makes no sense to me.
Well, I think that, like even though my feelings were hurt, and our feelings do get hurt in different situations, whether it's rejection or somebody says it's a breakup or something that was no longer is. But after I kind of contemplated it, I was like, okay, that's her right. Like, that's her show and she's well within, her prerogative to have me as a guest or not have me as a guest with absolutely no, like what she put into the email, it just was not enough to say, for me to say that I would not have been a great guest. I know I would have, but I try not to take it personal, and to just take it one step further. If she were to reach out again or our paths align again, I very much would enjoy a connection with her, because I think sometimes, we take a path and there's the alignment and then you veer off, and then there's other times where you take a path and you may not link at that point. And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, 10 years later, 2 months later, you kind of find your way back and it's perfect. So
I know exactly what you mean. I was notorious in my youth, up until about 2 years ago, about burning bridges. I'm not a petty person, so to say, but I do have a chip on my shoulder. So if somebody would slight me, I used to be like, I will never. And I would go out my way to go around that person and do stuff just so they can see. Like, I feel what you were saying. You didn't give my credits, but I'm gonna show you, with or without you, I'm gonna survive. But I'll never work with you again. So there's that, because you're gonna need me more than I need you. There's people I've done a podcast for, and I don't care if this gets out because I'm me.
It is what it is.
I produced a podcast and no credit. I see you promoting it, but you don't. I'm not mentioned. So it's just like, okay, I feel you. You want to make it seem like it was you. But when it comes back around for you to try to do the second season of that podcast, guess who won't be there? This guy. So, but then knowing how this business works, being in it for 2 years, now I'm like, okay, I can't be petty and let every little thing be a chip on my shoulder. Then I end up like Baker Mayfield. I'm just out here with more chips than wins.
That's right.
So I totally understand that. I probably would work with them again. It's just wouldn't be in that capacity without some kind of knowledge of what's going on. Right. Another question. What is your star sign?
Scorpio.
I don't know very many Scorpios. I just had to ask that. If you Scorpio. I'm a Sagittarius, so I think that's probably why I get slighted easy because we're a fire sign.
Okay. Uh-oh, I lost you. Hello. And you're
Okay,
back.
I'm not sure what that was, but great thing I'm recording.
Right,
We'll just
right.
edit that out in post. So to continue, my next question: if you can have coffee with any historical figure, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Any historical figure, dead or alive?
Yep.
Dead or alive, that would be Nina Simone.
Good choice.
My love for the power in words and just understanding that how it's imperative that we take responsibility for our words, how they matter, and how it resonated with her as far as in the music, and how it wasn't just about making people feel good all the time, or
Mm-hmm.
sway to the beat of a particular drum, or musical instrument. It was like, okay, what can I say to empower, to encourage, to incite some sort of positivity or just upward movement, in all of her listeners and her audience. And that's exactly what I aspire to do with my mission. So I love Nina Simone. I would love to have coffee with Nina Simone.
Well, make that happen.
I doubt it. She's deceased.
I know, but in a mindful state, we can always because
Absolutely. And I talk to her now. I mean, I have like conversations in my mind and stuff. So yeah.
so then you're already having coffee with her. You doing better than
Okay.
me.
Good
Um,
about it.
what is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet Ooh. Oh my God, I'm gonna seem so weird on this one.
No,
It
there's no wrong
is
answers.
well, no, I didn't say wrong. I said I'm seeing weird.
Well, you never know.
So I detest when people use my white washcloths in my home on various parts of their body because I buy the washcloths, the white ones specifically for the face.
Mm.
And so if you are a house guest of mine, and my children learn this, they're 34 and 32, and just think of them growing up with me, it was very awful. If I found out that one of them used my white washcloth, it was not very good. So white washcloths. Now that's like kind of like on a professional level, pet peeve of mine would be people that judge other people, brands, or businesses based on the opinions of their friend or their family member. I get it. Bad experiences are bad experiences. And I know there are a lot of people, a lot of places out there, a lot of brands that they do. There's shadiness, there's shoddy work or whatever. But should I decide to experience it on my own, that's what I want to do. Like, I don't want it to be because, okay, Darius told me that Wendy's is racist, or Wendy's suck, or whatever. And then, I kind of not be able to formulate that own, the opinion on my own. So that I don't like, because, not only do we do it with brands and businesses, but we do it with people. Oh, well, she's this or he's
Yeah.
that, or this organization is that, before we even do our research or have a proper understanding of who they are and why they are what they are.
So you're not weird on the white wife cloth thing because you're not the first person that's ever said that.
Wow. Okay.
You're not.
Okay.
I had a friend who was like a white washcloth Nazi.
Okay.
If she caught you, like she would come in the bathroom and kind of make sure you wasn't
Using the
her good
whitewash.
white towels. Like she heard the shower running, she would bust in, be like, "You better have my good white wash towels in there with you." I found out that firsthand. I was like, yeah, I to this day, I still get like
Shell shocked over whitewash
yeah, I see a white
towels.
washcloth and I walk out the room like shaking, like
Right,
no,
right.
not the white washcloth. So no, you're not wrong in saying that. That is not weird. You're not the first person I've heard say that. I've also experienced that, so I know how that is. As far as the business thing you brought up, I think that is a true statement because too many times we go by word of mouth, good and bad, without experience. Because there's so many people I've talked to or worked with that people was like, oh yeah, don't work with them. You know, they this and they that. I've even had that said about me.
Yep.
So I know how that is, and I think we should give people a fair chance, even if we don't. Even if we have reservations or going into it reluctantly, I think it is a good idea to open ourselves up.
Yep. That's
So
right.
here's a little more. I'm gonna get into a little more businessy, but I'm gonna jump back and forth here because I
Okay.
kind of want to keep you off guard.
Okay. All right.
What is one thing in your success that you didn't expect?
To be able to speak. Like I knew I was a really talented and gifted writer that would be able to help other people with their projects, to be able to just put into words things that were needed for their businesses, to help them in every way through words. However, when I put my book out, again, I put my book out, The Story and Life of an Ex NFL Wife, as you mentioned earlier, with the chip on my shoulder, because there were so many people that was trying to tell me what my life was like. So I decided I was going to write the book so then I could actually give my truth and my transparency. And I thought putting the book out there, people buy it, and then I just kind of go away, fade to black, be behind the scenes. But then it thrust this whole umbrella of being able to actually speak, which it was scary at first, but it's been so rewarding because meeting people across the globe, being able to just know that during my struggles to success and still in my struggles to success, I'm meeting people where we're all aligned. And so that gives me a greater understanding and love for people and just the things that they go through. It's just helping me grow so much. So speaking.
Mm,
Yeah.
you got me because believe it or not, I'm not a speaker. I try, but I picture this me just talking to friends and family, so I think that's what makes it easier.
Okay.
But I don't know. Who has been the most important mentor slash influence on what you have been doing?
Oh gosh, your question's gonna get me in trouble.
Oh, no, we're just talking amongst friends. Just
Yeah, look, until the people that I don't mention get a hold of, and they're like, "Well, wait a minute." Okay, so
see,
first, let me say this: I have several levels, and it's just what I believe in. I believe in going to SMEs, subject matter experts, for finances, for romance, for emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. So I have mentors. I actually have two paid mentors that just helps me personally and professionally. But under those umbrellas, people that I just go to, that I see, that I know their lives are where I want mine to be in those areas as far as relationship. I've relationship, finances, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. I've always been told that when you want to do something well, you have to go to the people that are already doing it well. They are where you want to be and where you aspire to be. So, with that being said, I have those people in place and they are wonderful. They are phenomenal. One of my mentors that I have to give recognition to that has helped me tremendously is Dr. Sharon Porter. She, at a time in my life where I really didn't think that I could do what I'm doing on all aspects, she gave me the tools, the tips. She took me under her wing, and just opened up her contact book, her connects, her network. And not only from a professional, but even when I needed to call on her personally, when I would be having down days or dog days or just, days of distress and dysfunction, she was always there. So I would say Dr. Sharon Porter, now I have mentors in my life that are absolutely phenomenal. They keep me on task, but I'm already on a certain trajectory. So it's kind of like, even though I'm learning from them, it all stemmed from the alignment with Dr. Sharon Porter. Even me needing to know that I would need these future mentors that I have in my life right now. So Dr. Sharon Porter.
And everybody else is gonna be mad. Ooh.
You did it. You did it.
Sorry. It's kind of what I do. So this is a 2-part question.
Okay.
Favorite job you ever had? Worst job you ever had?
Oh, okay.
You don't have to name them by name. You can just
once I say them, they're gonna know.
We will never know. We will never know until we hear these names. I mean, these places. So
now I'm mostly speaking about the people that I had the best job at, and then the worst job. Best job ever, I will say, is kind of like not a job, it's more of a client. And I still, I have this long contract agreement with their particular corporation. They give me the freedom to work and write for them, as well as build my brand and my business. Most places don't do that. Like, they want you there 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours. They want you for low pay, no pay, for mid pay, or, whatever. And then they want to control your time. But this particular organization that I'm talking about now, where I do writing for proposals, for projects, for city infrastructure, for this particular grant writing for this particular client, it's like, it's the pay is phenomenal. The benefits are phenomenal, but then just them understanding that I have my own brand and business, and I am, I need time to build that as well, has been phenomenal. The worst job ever. Okay. Let me tell you, I took on a writing job while I was transitioning I'm not going to call it a year, but I was transitioning. And this particular individual was supposed to help me be a better writer. Okay. She had been in the writing business for about 40 years or so. And it's like every question that I asked her, every, thing that I said before her, it's like she would always down talk me or downplay my skills and my abilities. So it wasn't helping me. I understand constructive criticism, and that's why I was there, trying to be under her wing to excel as a writer, because she had her own newspaper and newsletter, and like I said, just very prominent in the writing world. But her being able to be a mentor to others, or being able to just really cultivate new and upcoming writers, I would not suggest anyone subject themselves to that. The comments, I'm literally just learning certain things, writing 101, or so to speak, and how to place this, how to play, how to create a crescendo for the stories and the elements of the stories, and how to put them on all of this. So I'm asking questions because I don't know, but the response that I get is I'll just give you an example. One time I asked a question, very basic, very simple question. And she was like, a 3-year-old would know that. Just right off the rip, literally. So needless to say, I was there for about 10 weeks, I think, because I tried. I really, really did. I tried. But, the down comments, the negative comments, I don't advocate for that. I think that, you talk to people and you treat people the way that you want to be treated and the way that you want to be talked to. And she was just very condescending. She was, it was awful. It really was. But the good piece is that I can't sit before you and say that it was just all directed at me. From what I understand, she treated everybody like that. But I took 10 weeks of it, and my brain, because I'm such a positive, usually such a positive person, I couldn't take it, because I was finding myself, dreading getting up in the morning and even taking the drive down in there, and that stressing my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit, my immune systems, and it was too much. So that was like the worst ever.
You messed up, Shirley. You lost a good one.
And you know what's crazy is I see her from time to time. Probably about 2 weeks after I left, she actually called me and left a message and said, hey, I wish you continue, best of success. I hope you get what you're reaching for, whatever. And so, I didn't respond. And then I saw her a couple of weeks after that. And, it's cordial. It's like the nod, hey, how are you? And we just keep in passing. There's no dialogue there or anything, because, really, I think my season was up. Interacting with her business and her brand. And it was just time for me to just do something a little different. Now, with that being said, having an interaction with clients now and different connections, whether it's mentors, family members, friends, or whomever, I can absolutely take constructive criticism. I get that, because that's the only way for you to elevate and for you to grow. But you do not have to belittle me, and I'm not going to belittle you, especially for things that like you have the information and I'm just trying to get the information, but you're making me feel stupid about trying to get the information.
Yeah, I think we've all dealt with people like that. You were better than me, because 10 weeks wouldn't have been it.
It was grueling, Darius. It was grueling. I'm telling you, it was days, I'm not lying, where I would go super early. I wasn't supposed to be there till like 10 till 8. And I would get there like 7:20, 7:30. And that's how long it would take me to sit in my vehicle, woosah, try to put all these affirmations in my brain just to help me get out the vehicle and go into her place of business. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, see, I've quit for less. I don't even know what a 2-week notice looked like. I don't even know how to write one. I think I've written 2 in my whole life, and it was because of my wife. My wife made me write it. I've quit without notice. I've wrote emails, and the next day I was gone, keys on the table. If I show up, we'll both be surprised. I don't have it in me to stay somewhere where I know I'm not happy and I know I'm not going to advance.
Yep.
Or I'm like, why put myself through that?
That's right.
And if I see in the beginning it's not going to work, I'm not going to give it 5 weeks for it not to work.
Yep.
But I think that's the difference between people who are dedicated to try to, better themselves, and people who are like me, who just, if I see it ain't working, I ain't trying. If you ain't putting forth the effort, I ain't putting forth the effort. We just, neither one of us is going to effortize this thing.
That's right.
But no, I think because you wanted to be there and you wanted to really work, but it didn't. But it also gave you perspective.
Yeah.
And it also gave you what not to do, going forward. So it's not a total loss. I think we can all learn something in either defeat or losses, or just situations we know are bad, but we can also learn from those situations, the signs, what to look for, what not to put up with. So that kind of leads me into my next question. In your opinion, what's the most important personality trait or strength that someone would need to have to be in the field that you're in? Kind of do the things that you're doing.
Well, I don't know if I would categorize it as a strength, but it's definitely the beginning. And that's just the decision. Like, you got to have choice, because everything begins and aligns. It begins and it ends with that choice. So I have a choice. Either I will or I won't. Either I do or I don't. Either I can or I can't. But it starts with me saying I can, and then putting the plan in place, and then the strength to fuel it, and the determination, and all of that stuff that comes along with being able to persevere. But everything to me begins and ends with a decision. So I'm not really sure. I guess that's like deciding. It's an action verb. You got to decide. So that's like the first thing. And then I believe the traits and the characteristics build from there. And again, it's going to slide either way. So either I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to absorb in mediocrity and I'm going to continue to do it because it's a decision, or I'm going to go this way and I'm going to overcome, obstacles. I'm going to, climb this forever mountain and figure life out of this valley, scrounging my way out of this valley, or I'm not. So I think deciding is key. You got to make a choice where you want your life to go, what you want your life to be, how do you want your life to be. It all begins with you deciding.
So for those of y'all who are watching or listening, she telling me jump your ass off the porch and get out there and do something, be somebody. She's saying it nicely. I'm gonna tell you, get your ass off the porch. It all starts with that first step. Some people be afraid to make that jump or that leap to do something different, to get out their comfort zone and be too stuck, and then the shoulda, coulda, woulda songs start coming out. It start sounding like Brian McKnight and Joe out here begging for opportunities. Man, just jump off the porch, make a decision. Y'all heard what she said. She made a decision. She was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna make a decision. We've all been there.
That's right.
The show, it's the same thing.
Well, the thing is we have people asking us all the time, well, what was the process for you writing your book? How did you lose weight? How did you, get out of debt? How did you get married? How did you get, it's just like so many questions, but it's like the all-encompassing answer that people overlook is it's a decision. I decided I was going to go to the gym constantly or consistently. And it's not even about, to me, it's not about making a decision to where you are, you make the decision once and then that's forever it. No, people. It's you. Like sometimes some of my decisions and my life choices are minute by minute, literally, where I'm like, I'm all on board initially. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, golly, do I want to do that? And I have to really force myself and forge myself to be able to, complete whatever it is that I've set out to do. But again, I really believe everything, it still starts with that decision.
And I can attest to that because Lord knows there'd be some decisions and some opportunities. I'd be like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if I got it in me, kid. So yeah, it can be minute by minute, hour by hour, but sometimes you got to make a decision. Some people leave it up to chance, and
that's why you stay stuck. That's why you stay stuck. I know people there's the various religious beliefs, and it's like pray. Well, you got to do that too, and you have to believe. But I mean, if you are truly a scholar of biblical and scriptural references, or just faith in general, it's like you still have your part that you need to do. It's not like just sitting, like I'm just going to sit at home and I'm going to wish for $1 million and it's just going to, by osmosis, is going to come. I'm going to wish for a husband and it's going to come. I'm going to wish for, wish that I lose weight or whatever I'm trying to do. It's just not like there's a faith component and then there's an action component. And then the two create and they align you with what you want. And that's what so many people forget about, because it's like, oh, yep. Oh, I told her to pray. Okay, but what else did you tell her to do? And not saying, and I'm not trying to diminish that, so this disclaimer, y'all don't be writing comments or be sending Darius note, about I'm an atheist or whatever else. Nope, not at all. I believe, and but I just also know that there's two parts to it. There's the do, and then there's the believe.
I'm pretty sure because I always butcher quotes, but there's a quote somewhere in the Bible: faith without work is dead.
Is dead. But wait a minute. You see how blunt that is and how specific. It didn't say it might be dead
Mm-hmm.
or it might or may not work. It says, bam, believe it or not, if you have faith and you don't work, it's not gonna work. Bottom line.
Yeah.
We didn't make,
Yeah.
I didn't make it up. Take it up with the creator.
Yeah, he knows my heart. He knows every now and then I might quote something, even though I don't always follow. But he know where I'm at.
That's right.
So, at what time of the day do you feel most productive?
Ooh, 5 a.m. Yeah, 5 a.m. So from 5 a.m. till until about maybe 6:30ish, I guess. And the reason why I say that is because from that time, what I'm doing is not professional work related. It's all personal.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to affirm myself, my day, my family, my friends, just different things that I want in my life. Not only that, being able to just decree and declare prayer time for myself, for my friends, for my family, and then just becoming a better person, because within that time I'm also trying to make sure that everything that I'm sending out, that it's high vibrations, is high energy, is good vibrational, productive, progressive, and positive energy, not just from myself but also just putting it out into the world. So from about 5 a.m. till 6:30 a.m., that's my most productive.
I think I'm kind of the same boat. I used to get up at like 3 in the morning every day, because nobody's up. I guess that's the golden hour, the twilight hour, whatever they call it.
Right.
Right before the sun comes up,
Hmm.
before everything starts getting crazy, I would get up, drink coffee, and relax for a little bit before everything got crazy.
Hmm.
And I was doing that for a while, and then I just stopped. So I'm trying to get back to it because I realized that when I get up that early, I felt like I was achieving so much more. People were like, "Why you get up that early? There's nothing going on." I'm like, "Cause that's me.
Right.
That's my time.
That's right.
That's my
Well,
time
and
to
then,
reflect."
I think what's really lost in translation is people think according to, what they have next. So it's like, okay, well, I don't have to be at work until 8, or I don't have this client till 8. So I can get up at
Mm-hmm.
7. I can take a shower. I can cram all of this, and then start the ticks of my clock, 8 o'clock, da, 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 and it just goes on. But then, we all complain, or most of us complain, or the world now is complaining, like self-care, self-awareness, self
Mm-hmm.
this. And it's like, but just like the time you find to do everything else that you want to do, you have to find that time for yourself as well. So if that means, you got to get up an hour early, 15 minutes earlier, 30 minutes early, or whatever that needs to look like, that's what you do. I mean, I know that's cliche where they say successful people get up between this hour and that hour, but I
Mm-hmm.
think success is whatever you capture it to be. So if that means you're more of a 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. person, and that's when you do your affirmations and you do your whatever it is you need to do on the reverse. No two people are the same, and definitely no two success roads, no matter how carbon copy they look, they're not the same. It's just that
Exactly.
that person took something, and from Jim Rohn or ET or Oprah, whomever, and then they built it. They made it their own, because that's what I'm in the process of doing now. Like, I listen to a lot of great people, from, I mean, local to national to global to international, and love them all. But you'll be crazy trying to emulate and imitate every component of
Yeah.
another person's schedule. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, because I've seen some crazy schedules where it's like down to the second, and I just be like, "Dog, you better than me. You must have a great team that just keep you on it." Because I could be doing some editing stuff. I get tired and look over and like sports or something's on, and that editing go by the wayside,
That's
and
right.
I'll be like 5 hours later, be like, "What was I doing?" Okay, let me try to jump back in here. So I've tried to make a conscious effort to stay on task because I do have a lot more going on than I had before. So it's us having a schedule to me seems goofy, just because I've never stuck to one
Yep.
exactly. So it is a challenge for people who haven't done it. So I commend you for having that discipline. I'll call it discipline because a lot of people don't realize it takes discipline to set a schedule the night before and stick to that schedule the next day.
All about decision, remember?
Yeah, decisions and
like
discipline.
I decide to have the schedule, and then I decide to do it. I decide to, make sure that whatever it is that I need to get done, that it will get done. Period.
Yeah.
But it's not rigid. I'm not one of those people where like if something's interrupted or I'm throwing a curveball or someone were to say, hey, can you do lunch today, just to kind of, reconnect and reset, where I wouldn't be able to move my schedule around. Like I don't operate like that. I mean, of course I try to be structured and organized to the best of my ability, but I'm definitely a here and now person.
I was gonna ask that too, because I know there are some people like that where their schedule is the schedule, and if you ain't on it, you ain't on it. Like everything is scheduled.
Yep. And if something of curveball comes, their whole world just blows up, and that's just too much anxiety and stress.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it's weird. What is one lesson that life has taught you that you think everybody should learn at one point?
Let's see. Oh, well, actually, can I do two?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me do out. So,
Angela, it's your show.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I'm just here to press buttons and ask a couple questions.
Okay. The most important lesson that I've learned is that you must define yourself so that you won't be confined. The freedom in being able to be you in all areas. I'm not talking about breaking laws. I'm not talking about, anything outside of the norm. But
with my listeners, you might want to you got to put a
that's right.
disclaimer on that.
Yeah. I'm not saying go and speed through the red lights and go hold up. None of that.
Come on, positivity, people.
That's right. What I'm saying is, just if there are certain things that you want to do in life, certain things that you want to accomplish in life, but your circle or your normal friends that you hang out with or whatever, they may think is nerdy or is not as dope or whatever. It's like at some point you really have to understand your happiness, and then you have to follow the path for your happiness. It's not that you still can't be friends or you can't consort or converse with certain people, certain organizations. It's like, just do whatever it is that's going to make you happy. And that, again, there's that word decision. Like, you have to really make a choice that I'm going to define what my life looks like for me in every category. That's physical, appearance, is spiritual, is mental, is emotional, financial, because a lot of people think that there's this one number. Oh, I got to have 6 figures, 7 figures, 8, 10, whatever, just because that's everybody else is saying it, whether it's celebrities you're watching on TV or you've heard something on the radio or whoever, your friends or your mom or your dad or people have told you this is the only route. But there are multiple routes. And I do believe in the whole cliche where people say stay in your lane. However, I also believe I'm gonna stay in that lane, but I'm gonna have multiple lanes that I'm gonna stay in. I'm not just one dimensional to where this is Angela's only lane. I have multiple lanes at various times. But defining yourself, like, you really have to just come to a pause and a stop. Places that you want to go, people, your energy, your time, your effort, who you are giving those things to, where you are giving those things to. Because at some point, I do believe in evolution. I believe in growth. I believe in elevation. And I think that things that I did in my teens, in my 20s, in my 30s, my 40s, and now that I'm 50, there's a lot of things that have fallen by the wayside. And then there's a lot of things that, believe it or not, that I didn't like then, that I'm like, oh yeah, bring it on now. Because it's just, it's a different me. Now, when I say define yourself, definitely there's certain core values or characteristics that you should have that they're going to stay. It is who you absolutely are. But other things, other definitions of yourself, some may increase, some may decrease, some, you may be going right today and tomorrow you may choose to go left. But it's still defining yourself is like, it's just key, because when you don't define yourself, things, people, and places confine you. You become a slave. You become you become bondage to those things. And what is that going to equate to? Stress, anxiety, comparison, all the things that make you think that you're less than. So that's why you have to define, and of course, my friends, we're aligned with things. So things they like, I like, but I'm in no way afraid to speak up, and neither are they. If there's something where they're like, oh no, I don't like that, and I'm like, yeah, well, I do, or they may say, oh, well, I think you should try this, and I'm like, no, it doesn't appeal to me, and I'm okay with that. And that's about definition, because going with the masses is just like, is somebody controlling you, and you don't want to do that.
Funny you should say that about the like getting older and realizing something you might not have liked you like. Because when I was young, my dad used to drink coffee like every day. He was a truck driver, and I was like, I ain't never drinking coffee, man. Get that out of here. I cannot start my day without a cup of coffee. Sometimes too, I will come home from work and drink a cup of coffee, and just be like, man, I can't believe I'm here now, because I swore when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was like, I ain't drinking coffee. That's for old people. And I turned about 30, and I was like, bring on the coffee. Bring it on. Put a pot on for nothing. Just have it there ready. So I can understand that sometimes we, our feelings do change, and our definitions do change. But the core, like the core values thing, is the thing that I believe the most. Because it's in every business. If you look at a business, and I was drawing a blank of what they call it, but their business plan or whatever, there's core values in there. Schools have core values. Right. Yep. Their core values are everywhere. And the biggest one to me is responsibility. That is the biggest core value that I believe in, that and integrity. Because I believe those two are very important. Responsibilities, because everyone has a responsibility to something or someone. Whether you realize it or not, you might not want to take those responsibilities. That's a different story for another time. But integrity, because if you don't have integrity, especially as a man without integrity, to me, I can't trust. I just don't trust.
Well, I think that's just across the board, to be honest with you. That is I'm not gonna just put it to a particular, male or female. It's that's a people. Yeah, that's a people. It's a person thing, from a child, to an elderly person. Integrity, truth, honesty is it's imperative, and it's refreshing, because here we go, going back to a biblical statement, because the truth will surely set you free. It's so many people out there that don't have integrity, and they're not honest about small things, and it ropes them into bigger things, and there's the anxiety, there's whatever, they're just not free. But the more truthful that you are, you set yourself so free, and it's okay. It's okay to not like this, or not indulge in this, or want to have this, or go over here on this lane. It's okay, because it's your truth, and it's the definition of who you said you wanted to be, or you wanted to become, in order to achieve happiness or inner peace, or whatever the case is that that you're trying to set before you, to just have an incredible life.
Exactly. I knew a guy who woke up lying, just like for no reason. It just be like every day it'd be a new
I know some people that do that too.
So we know y'all out there
filled with liars.
We know y'all out there. We gonna stay clear, y'all.
That's right. We gonna pray for y'all.
She gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna stay away from y'all. Pray for yourself. No, I do think it's important that that everybody, their core values are defined. Especially you hear so many stories about, especially because like once I got into like the podcast thing, kind of entertainment, you see so many people who don't have their scruples anymore. Like they've changed who they were to try to get ahead and make their fan base grow and all that. And I just look at it and I'll be like, man, this to me is weird. Um, I'm a humble
Well, I
guy.
mean, the thing about it though is we have this whole facade of Facebook, IG, social. I'm sorry, I meant Facebook, social
My dad
media.
called it fake book.
I
That's what
did.
my
I'm
dad
sorry,
called it.
but within that, we have to make sure that we are still walking in our truth, and we're not, trying to do things for like, looks, or
Mm-hmm.
love, because all of that starts within yourself. Like, there's so many people that try to reach out to me on a consistent basis is like, grow your IG followers, grow your this, grow your that. Now, don't get me wrong, growing organically is 100% what I want to do, but I want it to be because something you ran across my post, or someone actually follows me and they mentioned that I said something uplifting, or
Mm-hmm.
that they saw me speak somewhere, or they read my book, and that's why you are following me. I'm not trying to have a number, an astronomical number, and let's just say 5,000 followers, 50,000 followers, but 49,000 of those don't even interact on my page, don't know what I post, don't care about what I post, because either I paid someone to inflate the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
or they just kind of, maybe they've integrated some other kind of way. I want to truly be impactful. I don't want to be one of those speakers or writers that like, the money becomes bigger than the moment, because I
Yes.
truly believe that money is going to come. It is a law. Okay, when you give, you receive. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot outrun it. So whether it comes in a little, it trickles in a little, or it trickles in a lot, or whatever, based on my effort, or based on this or that particular project, or whatever. But I really want people to be impacted by my story, by my words, by my writing, by my work, and by my worth of being able to help them
Mm.
to have a really, really great life. So, a lot of times the stuff that we see on IG or different social media outlets, it's worthless and it's useless. It's such a facade, and it's so, that whole fake it till you make it is just like, it's unreal, and it's not really an approach that you should take, because while you're doing all of that, you're putting all that effort into being fake. Why don't you just put the effort into what you truly want to do, you truly want to have, you truly want to become, and then you'll get it. you
Because
know
it's
and then who cares
easy.
anyway? Like, I mean, 9 times out of 10, the majority of the people who you're trying to stunt and floss and whatever else for, nobody cares, because they're stunting and flossing too. Their life is falling apart just like yours is.
Yeah, ain't that? Like again, I've seen it. In this being doing this for 2 years, I've met a lot of different people.
Yep.
Um, and I've been able to read them from jump because I've had that discernment to be like, okay, you not as real as you say you is. Your
Oh
page
yeah.
don't reflect what you're saying you're doing or how big you have it. So none of that like appeals to me. Like I have a guy that I worked with, and like he was always like, this person doing this and this person doing that. I'm like, but we can do that too. They only thing they're doing is the work,
Yep.
and they've been doing it longer.
Yep.
So I'm not in a rush to race anybody to try to get status because, like you, I want to build organically. I get those same messages like, hey, and they're all from India. I don't know
Yep.
why. They're
Yep.
all from Bangladesh, India. And I'd be like, as soon as I see it, be like, you know this person. I don't know you. I'm not answering, no, I'm not responding to nothing because I don't need you to buy me likes. Like that to me is just like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like you
Well, and
have
that's not
five.
why we're in it. We're not
No.
in this thing, just for this inflated fame. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
actually in it because, okay, you have a podcast, you have, resources, you have information that people need, that that has helped you to grow. So now you're like, okay, well, let me help this person grow. Let me help,
Exactly.
the transparency. And again, everything that you want is gonna come.
I believe
Period.
it. I'm just gonna keep working and doing what I know how to do best, and that's work.
That's right.
Um, cause I just I like I said, I know I have people who I've worked with personally trying to do these extra things, or it's like monkey see, monkey do, and like I don't really get into that. I don't goo god. Like I've met some celebrities, and I just be like, man, these are like I want to get to know that person on the personal side. Like I
Hmm.
don't care about their status or none of that. Like yeah, that's cool that I can say like, hey, I talked to this person, but
That's right.
I like the personal level to me is what makes it more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Um, like because I hate TMZ, and I say this all the time because I don't like hearing people's stories third person, and then it ain't always fully true.
Oh
I've
yeah,
always
media
been,
is the worst. So I mean,
uh,
I'm sure your audience and your listeners know that by now. They are the absolute worst. You have to really, don't have a monkey mind. And oh, I'm sorry, can
mm-hmm.
I say that?
Yeah, you say whatever you
I
want.
want to, I don't. We have to learn how to control our thoughts, our minds.
Mm-hmm.
For what we're receiving and what we're allowing into our minds, into our heads, into our thoughts. Now, again, news outlets, some of it is information, is good information. But even still, you have to take that information and then you have to really internalize it and process it. And then, you in some way you make it your own. So either, you're going to say, okay, that was good information. How can it impact or affect my life? Or that was information and it was just entertainment, and I'm just gonna let it fly. But so many people, I mean, they're just like, ooh, MSN is God, Fox News is God, it's law, because they said it on this, and that's so
Yeah.
that it has to be the truth. And I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't. In my experience, especially when my ex-husband was in the league, just knowing certain stories that they would try to fabricate to pit other players against other players.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, they were just over at our house like 2 nights ago. We good. What are they talking about? you know.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful. It's that whole he say and she say. My grandmother used to say, and I followed suit. Now that there's his story, there's her story, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that because I've heard other podcasters even try to do that. Like I'm not. I like people don't know me. They know what I want you to know. That's how I am. Like you'll know what I want you to know, and that's it. You'll see whatever you see on the screen. That might not be me all the way. Just because I've learned that too many people try to use things against you, or like you said, they're pitting like other podcasts against other podcasts, and I've seen it.
Yep.
This beef, this here, and then somehow DC got involved. Like I don't talk to nobody. If I'm talking to somebody, it's either because I want to work with you, or I know that you're not on no BS. I don't do drama, all that nonsense. It's a waste of time. If it's not either helping me network and grow or making money, I don't have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
So
I said that the other day. I said, if it's not making you moments, memories or
mm-hmm.
money, or let's throw another one in there, meaningful connections.
Yes.
Not just, you trying to connect with somebody because, this person can do this for me. Like you got to really be authentic and original nowadays. And a lot of that has been lost in translation. But if it's not doing either one of those four things for me, I don't align with it. There's just no reason, period. Like Kobe
Yeah.
said in one of his interviews, you stay over there with that.
Yeah, I don't need it because I. It's weird to see that people trying to align themselves with people because they feel like they're gonna help them out, and it's just like, but if you help yourself, you can say you did it without them. Eric Thomas, you brought him up earlier. ET, the hip
ET,
hop preacher, one of my
yeah,
favorite people. I love a lot of his work, and he said something about building the table. I don't need your table because I'm too busy over here building mine. And
absolutely.
to me, that always resonates because when I started, I wasn't giving a lot of seats at a lot of tables. My personality is kind of abrasive. So I was like, forget it. I'm gonna build my own table. And I had people like, no, but we can do this with them. I was like, no, I'm not begging nobody to sit with them. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
make my own connections, get my own people, and I'm gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah.
So that has led me to be able to meet wonderful people like you. a lot of the people like I've just met has been so genuinely, and we built a genuine thing. Is because it's like I'm not here because I want you on the show because I think you're gonna help ratings and all this and
Yeah,
that. I want it because I want people to hear your story because when I seen it and heard it, I thought it was dope. And I want to be able to tell that story and help spread that story because other people need to hear it.
absolutely.
Um, and that's why I enjoy doing these things because it's not for me because I can get on a mic and talk mess all night by myself. It
Yep.
doesn't mean anything. It doesn't impact anything. Does it help anyone? Does it spread any kind of joy or love or, take people's minds off the gas being $52 and president falling off his bike and all this other stuff. Like it just
Ah.
it
Oh,
doesn't take away from it.
which by the way, that was hilarious. I'm sorry, but it
Well,
was
I've
hilarious.
said this before. He fell for like 40 minutes. It
It
took him
did.
forever to fall. Like
It
I've
did.
never seen a man fall in slow motion off a bike in my life. Like
Oh
the
yeah.
way he the way he fell.
Yeah.
It was just like time stopped and everybody else was moving normal. And he's
He's
just
like, I'm
falling
okay.
and falling and falling and grasping. It was like the Lion King when Mustafa died. It was just like,
Yeah.
well, this dude just fall already. Like, God, dog, get it over with, man. Just rip the Band-Aid off, fall and get up, man. Nobody noticed.
Absolutely.
You falling slowly just make it look more awkward and put more eyes on you. But that's neither here nor there. Um, what are 3 books that you would recommend to people and why?
Ooh, The Courage to Be Disliked. I can't say the name of the person that wrote it now. It's a little tricky, but The Courage to Be Disliked. Oh my God. You Are the Mountain. Or I'm sorry, The Mountain Is You. That's by Brianna West. And Wherever You Go, There You Are. Now there are a lot of great other books that that I've read over time that I recommend, even like some author friends of mine. But those 3, matter of fact, let me see. Hold one second. I believe and I do not have the other 2, but I'm kind of like what's his name, Bob Proctor, how he said he'd take books and he reads them over and over and over again. Like I think Napoleon Hill book, he said he would read it daily or weekly or whatever for like 30 years or 40 years. And I just believe, like, I have pages, I folded, I have things underlined, I go back to it. My motto, people, for reading a book, especially, and this could be any book, whether it's your, magazines or whatever, because I understand, there's some people, they don't like quote unquote self-help books or whatnot. But I always choose a book and I read it the first time for enjoyment. So I have no preconceived notion. It's like, I'm not trying to absorb anything, but usually with good books, as you can see, you don't have the choice but to absorb. So I'm still like underlining. But the first time I read a book is enjoyment. The second time I pick it up is for enlightenment. The third time I pick it up is for empowerment. So I'm always trying to, now on this journey and the path that I'm on, I'm trying to better myself in all areas. And I found that wherever you go, there you are. This is a book. This is my 3rd time reading it. That's why I actually have that one on me. The Courage to Be Disliked. It just gives so much information that not only helps you see, why you think the way you do, but then also the other person's perspective about you. And then how just piece everything together. Phenomenal read. The Courage to Be Disliked is really a phenomenal read. And then The Mountain Is You by Brianna West is phenomenal at all costs, because I think anytime that you can take away the point blame me finger, and you're always trying to say that this person, this thing, this place, this circumstance is why I am the way that I am, or let me say this, why I should stay the way that I am. Because I feel like there are a lot of things that they cause you to behave or to react or to guard up, guard down, whatever. But the decision to stay that way, to stay in a funk, to stay angry, bitter, or whatever, or in a rejected state. It's entirely up to you. And her book is phenomenal. How it breaks down about a lot of things that just taking that blame game out. And so that's why I'm trying to just read literature that is really going to help me process me first, because I can't process you if I don't know about me, and then I definitely can't have a victorious life if I'm always thinking that, you're the puppet master and you just have my emotions and you got control over my energy, you got control over my time, my body, my mind. So those are three phenomenal books. And then of course, all the others that are out there that we readily know and identify for some of the greats. But those three are really helping me.
Amazing. I'm gonna have to check those out.
Yeah.
Especially why they don't dislike me. Or you said that. I think that's the one I might want to read.
The Courage to Be Disliked. You need to read that one first. I'm telling you, it's going to, you're going to be like, and the basis, and it's not a boring book. So it's not just like, pages and pages of copy. It's broken up into let's just say like a guru, so to speak, and a student. So the student is asking these questions, or he has this definite, perspective. No, this is like this, and this is why it is. And then the philosopher, when he gives his answer, and they kind of go back and forth, at the end, he, then understands why, this has happened the way that it, or unfolded the way that it has. It's phenomenal book.
I'm gonna check that one out, just because I like being disliked sometimes. And I don't know why. I have a few more questions. Okay. Before we wrap up here.
All right.
This one's a little different, more off the wall one. What is your favorite color, and what do you think it says about you?
Green.
And what do you think that color says about you?
Money, power.
Say no more. I
got money, power, wealth, significance. Think about it. When have you ever seen a person, I don't care, male or female, I don't care what size they are, and they have green on and they don't look good in it? Green.
Yeah, I can't.
Green is a definite color that is like, it's kind of like black, but black to me represents like, it could be dreary or dark or whatever. But green is more vibrant. And then all the shades of it, from the money green to the lime to the emerald, jade, like all the shades. Like anytime I see that particular combination of green on a person, I'm like, wow, it's always so eye-catching. But I've liked green ever since I was like 4 years old. And of course, my association was with the first dollar bill that I received because it was green.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I just look at my nails. Like I just genuinely love green. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. Mine is purple now. It used to be black, but I kind of got away from it just because I was like, I'm not emo and I'm not sad, so I don't know why I'm wearing all this dang on black.
Well, black is slimming, so they say, and all of that good stuff. So,
black goes with anything.
It does. It has its place. Yeah.
But I got more towards the purple because of the regality of it, royalty and all that. And it just, I don't know, it's a good color. So I did my logo and everything. Like my podcast colors were purple, just because it felt, felt good, felt right.
Yeah, felt royal.
There was another question.
Just come with it.
Oh well, no. It was just if there was another field that you can try to be in, what would it be? Besides
bartender.
You said that one right quick. Why?
Bartender, mixologist. Well, for one, your girl is pretty nice with mixing, mixing liqueurs, whether it's the cognac, the vodka, I tease with some of my closest friends, and I tell them that truly towards the relaxing part of my life. I'm never going to call it retirement because what I do, I love. So I believe I will be doing it until I take my last breath. So towards the end of where I'm truly relaxing a little more and, not doing the writing or the speaking, I always talk about opening up this tiki bar, this tiki hut, and they're like, "Where?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna choose an island. I'm gonna be that older, distinguished lady that's going to be mixing up drinks, meeting people, still having the voice to be able to talk and just tell my story and hear other people's story, and have that tiki bar."
True story. I used to bartend.
Okay, okay.
That it was. I was working at a bar, some odd years ago, and our bartender like left early, so they was like, "Hey, go back there and do it." So I was like, "Okay, whatever." So like the first time sucked. I was over pouring and it was bad. But as over time, I realized that job is kind of relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a lot of people because you get it's sort of kind of like this without well, it kind of is with the drinks, but it's Sunday, so I'm not drinking. But
Yep.
but
It's
usually
therapeutic.
it is because you get to hear so many different stories, and you meet people, and and for some reason people start drinking and they get more talkative. Go figure. So I would just be back there pouring drinks, and people would be telling me their life stories, and it's just like this is why in those old movies, those bartenders knew everything about the town, especially the smaller towns, because everybody get drunk and start telling everybody who's
Think
doing
about it.
what.
The three B's: bartenders, beauticians, barbershop.
That is true. If you need if I was a cop, them to be the three places I go first when I need information. I'd be like, I hit up the salon, I hit up the barbershop, and I hit up the bar because those places they gossip. Like they have so much, especially in the smaller towns, because there's not a lot going on and everybody know everybody. So that's where all the juicy gossip is at.
Yep.
So and that's actually what this show started out to be, was sort of like a man cave, a barbershop type place for everybody to come talk. So it's full circle.
Absolutely.
One last question.
Okay.
Actually two.
Okay.
Is there a question you wished I asked that I didn't?
Let's see. No. This interview by far has been the most off the cuff. Now, I never get canned questions anyway. Like people will tell me, they'll say, "Okay, well, we want you to come on and we want you to talk about this, this, and that." And then every now and then they may throw something off color or whatever at it, but this truly has been one where the questions, it kind of has me like, "Oh, yeah, well, what is my favorite, holiday movie? I don't know, never thought about it." So no, I don't there are no questions. I think it flowed the way that it need to, and I have immensely enjoyed it. So thank you.
Well, thank you, because you were actually the first person to do this style of this show. So
Oh, I'm number one. I'm number
you are.
one.
So new series that I'm starting. Like I said, it's gonna be. I thought about it before, and I was like, I got a lot going on, so I don't really want to do it. But then I was like, well, I have a lot of people who can't do a Wednesday night normal show, but I still want to be able to talk to those people.
Right.
So this is what I'm coming with. I'm coming
Good
with this
deal.
style of me and that person, or if it's two people. I have a sister duo next week that I'm doing this with. Who they started a vending machine business, but it's a visual one, so it's like a touch screen, and they do advertisement on it and
Oh
the whole
wow.
nine. They have it in the airport here in Canton, Akron
Mhm.
Canton Airport, and you can go through it. It's like a retail machine, like everything that you would need on a flight:
Nice.
baby wipes, aspirin, first aid kits, all this stuff. And it was a
Yep.
dope idea. I went to the mixer and met him and talked to him, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. But they couldn't
Hmm.
do a Wednesday night, so I'm like, well, I have Angela that I'm doing at Sunday with. So on Sundays, we're just gonna do this kind of style of
Hey.
one-on-one interaction, but it's gonna be a little different. I don't want it to be like a normal, that normal interview where you kind of feel like I've been asked this a billion
A
times. So I kind of wanted to.
gazillion times.
So that's kind of why I came with some questions that I felt were gonna be different, gonna be a little more,
Nice.
whimsical sometimes, but also, get to business and get to personal, but
Mhm.
make you feel relaxed, because I know you speak a lot,
Right.
so you probably get asked, the same, oh, well, how does it feel to be an NFL wife? This
Yep.
and that. And I was
Yep.
like, you know what? I don't, I mean, I care, but I don't, I don't know if she's answered that.
That's
I
right.
can go watch that question somewhere else. I want this to be something different, not only for me, but for you and the listener. So
Well, you nailed it.
I try. Um, I immensely appreciate you. Your energy is infectious. Talent is amazing. You are a great orator, if I'm using that word right, or
Mhm.
speaker. You're a great speaker. I'm gonna try to be fancy with it and messed up the words. So hell, yeah. But no, you are, and I appreciate you for your time. Two times I've spoken to you and I came away with so much, and also wanted so much more. I'm like, man, if I could just talk to her more, I would just be like, I don't know if I would ever be satisfied talking to you, because it's like so much about you that is so amazing and so much knowledge. It's just like, I don't want to be selfish with your time, but
Right.
I'm like, man, if I can just, few more times, I might be satisfied. But
Well,
I do
that's a
appreciate.
great thing. And it's an amazing feeling for me when I have people that are like, I want to have you back on the show. Or,
I was gonna say that,
yeah. Or
but I didn't want
let
to.
me tell you the funniest though is the people that have those 15-minute shows and they're like, no, no, no. Well, it's power packed and, it's all they really need is 15. Everyone, which I've done 7 to date, have said it's just not enough time. It just wasn't enough time to pack in everything with you because there's so many, just
It
like all
is.
of us. There's just so many, things under one umbrella as it relates to me. So thank you for that.
It is. So I definitely do want to have you back on, either like this or a normal show. But I do appreciate you because I know you're a busy woman. You have a lot of things going on, and the fact that you are so willingly with your time with me, it means a lot. Um, I told you this before. I don't really like not telling the guests this, but you're always welcome back.
All right,
And I
I
do mean
got it.
that because you are truly amazing. Like, I can't say that enough. And I need the people to realize that this woman does a lot. So the fact that she came on here on a Sunday with me, because we were supposed to do this 2 weeks ago, but I think I had to work. And
Yep,
last week
yep,
you were traveling
yep.
to do some work. So it's like, when I get her, I got to make sure I maximize that time, because she's so busy. You might not be able to catch her for another month. So
Well, we knew it was going to align at some
yeah.
point because it was already written.
I
So,
had to make it, even if faith without works is dead. So I had to make sure it worked.
there you
I
go.
had the faith, but I had to put in the work. But no, I do appreciate you.
Thank you.
So amazing, so nice, and just so, like I said, gracious with your time. It means a lot. Tell the people where they can find you. Everything you have coming up, going on, speaking engagements, everything. Give them it all.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to connect and just link with you first and foremost, and then through your viewers and your listeners. My website is www.inotherwordsbystone.com. On social media, I am Angela Marshall, the story and life of an ex NFL wife. You can get me on either one of those. I'm on every social media platform known to man. However, I'm not on where I sit on because I don't have a life. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, some people feel like when they reach out to you or they leave a comment or something on a post, like you're supposed to respond like right away. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not that person, and I'm not gonna say I'm not impersonal, but I'm just, because I do when I respond, it's truly me responding and trying to connect with the people that my post or whatever has resonated with. So every social media outlet, you can get me either Angela Marshall or the story and life of an ex NFL wife. Right now, my speaking events are starting to pick back up because, of course, with COVID, that kind of took things to a standstill there for a minute. But right now, I am actually opening up my book for November because I'm booked up until then, but November and then, into 2023. So I can do a number of topics. If you can just go to my website, that it will kind of give you a snapshot or summary, or you can just reach out to me. The email is on the website and I can send you all of my credentials. I don't just talk about the story and life of an ex-NFL wife. I also talk about entrepreneur life. Since I am an entrepreneur with my business as a creative content consultant, I do resume training. That's another little feather in the hat, so to speak, why it's important to make sure that your resume is complete if you are out there, looking for work or just looking to update your resume. So I can be found, should I say, on any outlet, or you just go to Darius. He'll hook me up. He'll connect us. He'll link us.
Definitely will. Again, I appreciate you coming on. This was the first of the Chambers Effect, an in-depth, off-the-wall conversation with friends. So, as the first person, first of all, I have to say thank you.
I'm number one. I'm number one.
Unfortunately, y'all, you can't beat her because she's number one, the first one on this. But somebody can be number two. Everybody needs somebody can come in second. But I do appreciate.
We'll all be remembered. That's the great piece about this amazing podcast, because normally nobody remembers number two or runner up or whatever. But in this case, they will be all of your podcasts, whether you are the 138th person, you will be remembered.
We're breaking social norms where some other places you might not be remembered, but here you'll be remembered. In the hearts and minds of us all. But I do appreciate you for coming on. Again, like I said, for those who are wondering, if you're listening to this, it's probably already airing. But you can also find me. Well, you guys know where to find me at. I'm not about to. This ain't about me. This is about our wonderful first guest to the Chambers Effect, Miss Angela Marshall. Make sure you guys get in touch with her, or I can put you in touch with her for all your needs. She's a wonderful get. When she is not busy, you guys better get in them books and make sure you're on it, because I got lucky. It took me 3 weeks, but I got lucky. But as always, I do, like I said, I appreciate you for coming on with your time. Like I said, your knowledge, your just effervescent personality. I enjoy it. Thank you for being part of Queenish again. For those who guys didn't see that, she was a part of that amazing lineup of women on Queenish. Definitely going to be doing that again.
I hope so. And then there wasn't enough time for that.
I know. And then we had so many women that were just, it was star-studded.
Great conversations. And the moderator was phenomenal too. We want him back.
It's up for debate. I know y'all said y'all like him, but I really don't. So I don't know. He already cool, but I don't know. But he'll be back. But no, I do appreciate you. Thank you. And that is it for the first episode of the Chambers Effect. An in-depth conversation off the wall with friends. As yes, Angela is motioning, she was number one. We'll be doing this again. We got the Brown sisters coming on next for another conversation on the Chambers Effect. Thank you guys, and good night.